Have you ever watched a movie and wondered, did this really happen in real life? Or is it just Hollywood magic? There's a movie called The Luckiest Man in America. It tells the story of a regular man who found a way to win big on a game show. So big that it shocked everyone watching and changed the game forever. But how much of the story is real, and how much did Hollywood change for drama? Today, let's find out the true story behind The Luckiest Man in America, the incredible win of Michael Larson on the game show Press Your Luck in 1984. In the movie, Michael Larson is shown as an outsider, a little awkward but super focused, who steps onto the stage and breaks all the rules by outsmarting the game. He pushes his luck again and again, making the audience and the producers panic as his winnings go higher than anything seen on TV before. But is that really how it happened? Let's go back to the real story. No Hollywood filters, just true events. Press Your Luck was a popular American game show in the 1980s. The rules were simple. Answer trivia questions to earn spins. The spins let you play the big board, which was full of lights, prizes, and a cartoon villain called the Whammy. If you landed on a whammy, you lost all your money. If you were lucky and skillful, you could win cash, vacations, and even cars. But there was one thing everyone believed. The game board was supposed to be random. Beating it meant being lucky, not smart. At least, that's what everyone thought. In real life, Michael Larson was not a celebrity or a math genius. He was an ice cream truck driver from a small town in Ohio. Michael liked to watch TV and make money in any way he could think of. He was always trying new ways to get rich quick, and he loved games, puzzles, and anything on TV where you could win money. Michael wasn't rich. In fact, he was struggling to support his family. But he did have one big skill. He could see patterns that other people missed. After Press Your Luck started on TV, Michael became obsessed. He watched it every day, recording episodes with his VCR and sometimes watching many screens at once. Michael noticed something no one else did. The random lights on the big board actually followed a small set of patterns, just 5 different ways. Over 6 months, he watched and replayed episodes, memorizing where the lights would go and which spots were always safe from the whammy. He wrote down the patterns, practiced at home, and prepared for his big plan. He would go on the show and put his pattern knowledge to the test. Michael saved up his money and flew to California to try out for the show. He told the producers his story, an average man, wanting one chance to win for his family. Some people at the show felt something was odd about Michael, but the show's creator thought his story would make good TV and let him on. That decision would change both Michael and the game forever. When the cameras started rolling, Michael's nerves showed. He answered trivia questions for spins, just like everyone else, but this part was harder for him. At first, he landed on a whammy and lost everything. But then the moment came. He began using his memorized patterns. Watching the board with laser focus, he knew almost every time when to hit the button so that he would land on the safe, high-value spaces. Michael kept going, collecting more and more cash, prizes, and extra spins. Normally, most contestants would hit a whammy in just a few spins, but Michael kept pressing his luck and never hit another. His winning streak lasted so long, over 40 spins, that the show ran overtime and had to be split into 2 episodes. He won $110,237 in total, more than anyone had won in one day on any game show. People in the studio were amazed, but the producers started to panic. As Michael's streak continued, the show's host and staff tried to figure out if he was cheating. They checked the rules. But Michael never broke any. He wasn't using any device, and he wasn't getting help. He simply saw something nobody else did. The producers watched the footage again and again. They noticed Michael would sometimes celebrate his win before the name of the prize was even revealed, proof he knew what was coming. Network executives wanted to avoid paying his jackpot, but their legal teams could find no grounds to deny him the winnings. Eventually, CBS paid Michael every penny he won. If you watch the movie, The Luckiest Man in America, you'll see some things that never really happened. In the movie, producers scheme behind the scenes, creating drama, and sometimes fictional characters try to distract or intimidate Michael while he's playing. In reality, most of those tense moments are created just for entertainment. There was confusion and panic, but real producers couldn't legally sabotage a game in progress. The movie also adds surreal moments showing Michael as a nervous, unsure outsider, wandering the studio or talking to his wife during the taping. In truth, the studio set was tightly managed, and such breaks wouldn't be allowed. Hollywood often makes these changes to add excitement, but they sometimes blur what really happened. Many people think that winning a game show jackpot is the end of the story. The hero rides into the sunset. But real life is not so simple. After taxes, Michael had far less than he thought he'd keep. He spent a chunk of his winnings on a risky radio contest involving dollar bill serial numbers. He didn't win. A large amount of his cash, kept at home, was stolen in a break-in while he was out. He also invested in business ventures that failed and lost most of what was left. In the years after his win, Michael went back to regular jobs, and life became harder, not easier. Later, he was investigated for fraud in a business scheme and moved to Florida, eventually passing away in 1999 from cancer, hiding from both the law and a difficult world. Michael's story didn't just shock the people in the studio. After his big win, the game show's designers changed the board, adding dozens more patterns, making sure nobody could ever memorize them all again. Press Your Luck stayed on air for years, and reruns later became famous all over again because of Michael's legendary episode. He became a legend, a symbol of how determination, study, and a sharp eye could beat even the unlikeliest odds. But his story is also a cautionary tale. Genius and luck might win you a fortune, but how you live matters just as much as how you play the game. Let's pause and talk about the facts and the fiction. Movies create heroes out of real people, but may add scenes that never happened. For example, in the Hollywood version, producers are sometimes made into villains, inventing new plots for drama and pacing. The real Michael was both brilliant and flawed, a man whose victory was earned, but whose life afterwards was difficult. The truth is often more complicated, more human, and more interesting than movies show. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more true stories behind the games, movies, and legends you thought you knew. Don't forget to comment below. Does Hollywood have a responsibility to stick to the facts? Or is it okay to add a little magic for a better story? Until next time, remember, sometimes the luckiest man in America isn't the one who wins the most money, but the one who sees what others miss and keeps learning from every game.